Hi guys, for those who do not know, I suffer with POTS, which stands for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Basically, my body is like always fighting a war with itself. Right now, the reason I seem so dopey is because I honestly just went through an episode not that long ago, and I still can feel it. Right now, my heart rate is at 114, but when I stand up, it can skyrocket to 160. So I feel that it is important to spread awareness. So I wrote a poem called Still Standing, which highlights that very difficult feeling. This is Still Standing by me. People think standing is the easiest thing a body can do. They do not know what it feels like when mind treats it like a threat. It starts small sometimes. A shift, a rise, a moment as ordinary as getting out of bed, walking to the bathroom, standing in the kitchen, waiting in line. And then my body remembers it does not know how to hold me upright without turning it into a crisis. My heart begins first. Not a normal quickening, not nerves, not excitement, not the kind of racing you can just laugh off. No, it slams. Hard, fast, wrong. Like my chest is trying to outrun my own skeleton. Like my pulse is clawing at the inside of my ribs, begging to be let out. And I can feel it everywhere. In my throat, in my wrists, behind my eyes. In the fragile space between one breath and the next. And then the light changes. The room doesn't always spin. Sometimes it just leaves me. The edges of everything start to blur out, like the fuzzy TV screen, then narrow, until the world becomes a tunnel I am falling through with my eyes open. Black dots, static, a curtain of distance. It is terrifying how quickly a body can become unfamiliar. My legs go weak in that hollow, underwater way, like the blood has slipped out and forgotten how to come back. My knees soften, my hands turn cold, my fingers lose color. My feet feel heavy, aching, full, like gravity has teeth and it has chosen me. And then comes the shaking. Not delicate trembling, not a nervous flutter, a deep, involuntary trembling that feels like my body has been flooded with too much alarm. Like some invisible switch has been thrown, and suddenly I am all adrenaline, all panic chemicals, all survival instinct, with nowhere safe to put it. My chest gets tight, not always pain, sometimes just pressure. Sometimes the strange, awful feeling that breathing has become manual. Like I have to remember how to pull air in, like my lungs are open, but my body forgot how to use them right. And even when I am breathing, it still feels like I am not getting enough. That is one of the cruelest parts. Looking completely alive while your body is convincing you that something is very, very wrong. Then the nausea comes, slow or sudden, a wave, a drop, a sick, hot, rolling feeling that settles in my stomach and climbs into my throat. Sometimes my body goes cold, sometimes it burns, sometimes I sweat, like I am running a race while doing nothing more than standing still. And somehow, through all of this, people still expect me to answer casually, to keep talking, to keep smiling, to act normal, while my heart is pounding itself raw, and my vision is fading, and my body is deciding whether or not it is going to let me stay conscious. This is what an episode looks like. It feels like disappearing while still being seen. It feels like your body is forgetting how to be a body. It feels like your nervous system pulling a fire alarm that no one else can hear. It feels like being trapped inside a medical emergency that often leaves no bruise, no cast, no obvious proof for the people who only believe pain when it is visible. And when it passes, because sometimes it does pass, slowly, shakily, incompletely, it does not leave me untouched. That part matters too. People think that if I didn't faint, if I sat down in time, if I stayed conscious, then it must have not been that bad. But they do not see the aftermath. The exhaustion that settles in my bones like wet cement, the headache, the weakness, the brain fog. So thick, it feels like my thoughts are trying to move through syrup. The way words leave me, the way concentration fractures, the way that even after my heart slows, my body still feels like it's been through something violent. Because it has. Not in a violent way that people expect. Not loud, not bloody, not somatic, but violent in a way that steals ordinary things. Standing, showering, walking, heat, stairs, waiting, existing too vertically for too long. There is grief in that. Grief in being afraid of things other people do without even having to think. Grief in remembering the little child that was always running around, training their athletic ability, being a normal, happy child. Grief in measuring your life in water bottles, electrolytes, salt, chairs, compression, cold floors, safe exits, and whether your body will cooperate today. Grief in having to ask yourself before doing anything, can I stand upright long enough for this? And maybe the loneliest part is how ridiculous it can sound to someone who has never felt it. How do you explain standing up can feel like your body is quietly unplugging itself? How do you explain that your heart can act terrified when your mind is calm? How do you explain that sometimes you are not always tired in a sleepy way? You are tired in a blood flow, nerve signal, body fighting itself kind of way. How do you explain that you are trying, always trying, and still losing battles that no one else can see? I do not always know how. I only know what it feels like. I only know what it is to stand and feel my body begin to slip. I know what it is like to sit on a bathroom floor and wait for the world to come back into focus. I know what it is like to be scared of fainting in public, to memorize where the nearest chair is, to pretend I'm okay, because explaining it takes more energy than I have left. I know what it is like to live in a body that can look completely fine while sounding every alarm. But I also know this. I am not weak because my body struggles with what others do easily. I am not dramatic because my symptoms do not perform themselves for people's understanding. I am not lazy because surviving takes too much energy too. I am not less because my body demands more care than I ever asked for. I am someone learning how to live inside a storm that rises with me. Someone learning that survival does not always look like fighting loudly. Sometimes it looks like sitting down before you fall. Sometimes it looks like drinking what you can, breathing through the shaking, waiting for your heart to remember that you are not in danger. Sometimes it looks like being exhausted, frustrated, misunderstood, and still getting up again the next day. So if you want to know what POTS feels like, it feels like this. Like standing inside your own body, feeling it leave before you do, and still choosing to stay. That is the brutal reality of POTS syndrome. It is very difficult, just from reading that, from sitting up and doing that. My heart rate is currently at 152. It is racing. That's the harsh reality. Do I stand again and test it? No. I don't want to play that game because I will faint. I'm already shaking. I hope for those who struggle with me, I am so sorry. And I can't say I hope you get better soon because there is no getting over it. But find some sort of doctor that understands, because me personally, I still have not found that doctor that understands. I am so sorry. But that's still standing by me. Bye, guys.